I'm sorry, I don't know if you heard that. So I just put the recording on, and the application just let me know in a very loud and clear way. Okay, so let's start. If people are late, well, they can catch up. And in any case, this is why I'm recording the webinar for people who couldn't attend this webinar, could be able to enjoy it after. So today I'm going to introduce the new version of ADCORE called ADCORE Views. My name is Ethel Verda. I am the head of product support at ADCORE, and I will be joined by Miranda, who is the regional sales manager for Australia.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, so we really wanted to thank you for joining and taking the time to see the new version of ADCORE. So some of you already are clients, but some of the others are soon to be our clients. So if you, hopefully, we wanted first of all to talk to you a little bit about ADCORE and what is ADCORE. We are leading provider of advertising technology solution. And we built a search and display platform to offer unmatched levels of optimization and flexibility for search marketers and advertising agencies. Our platform consists in 4 main features. The first one will be feed editor, and of course for each feature I'm gonna go more into details. Why I'm actually gonna present you the new ADCORE. So the first feature is the feed editing tool called feed editor. The second one is the dynamic campaign creation. The third one would be the reporting, and fourth, the optimization of those campaigns and of your campaign also, because you can optimize not only on the campaign that you created on ADCORE. So for the newcomers, so that was a little bit of history about ADCORE. Now, for people that know the new the old version, sorry, we made a lot of changes. We basically completely redesigned our system, redesigned visually, but also in the back end. So there is 3 main things that I would like to focus on. First is the concept behind the views. Why do we call it ADCORE Views? So everything is about how you view in the system. Right now, you have a single page application, a complete new UX. So it's going to be very easy, and I'm going to show you that you won't have basically to jump from one window to another. You can do all your optimization, creation, and reporting in one page only, which is really practical. The second part is the technology. We have completely redo our technology. Right now, everything is in live sync with synchronization with AdWords, and there is no central database storage. So that allows you basically to work as a cloud, and that allows you to deal with your data much more faster and easier, and to have a better synchronization with AdWords, Bing, or Facebook. And the last part will be the design. We offer a new design. You'll see that we wanted basically to have something closer to the AdWords look, because if you know AdWords, you know ADCORE. It also, you will see, will also allow you to have less training. In the current version of ADCORE, we had about 10 to 15 hours of training. This new version will only consist in maximum 2 hours of training. And the interface is much more intuitive than what it used to be. So basically, we are ready to dive into ADCORE Views. What you see on the screen right now is the login page. So because we're talking about views, we have a background about fantastic views that you can refresh, and in the future, it's just a cool thing that you will be able to put the background that you want. So now let's say that you enter your information and you're ready to start with ADCORE. So this is it, and this is the new, basically this is the new ADCORE system. So as you can see in this dashboard, you can also right away see that it looks much more similar to AdWords than what it used to be in the past. And for newcomers, you can see that it just looks similar to AdWords. So, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and talk to you a little bit more about the dashboard and see what type of features you can have in this single-page application. The first thing to notice is here you have the user management. Basically, this is where you're going to be able to change your profile, update your profile, enter the information about you as a user, but this is also where you're going to be able to give access to other users to your page, either if you're a client, if you want to give it to your client, and in this case, it will be only on the reporting level, or for the other agency users if you want them to have access to all the features. Next to it, we have the setting button. This is where you can do basically media, advertiser, users, and feed management. So in one place, you can access all your features. Here, this is called the advertiser selector. So this is where you're going to be able to select on which account you want to work on. So again, drop-down menu, very easy. If you need to add a new advertiser, also very easy, very clear, and very intuitive. And on the left, this is your this is your media selector. This is where also you are able to choose from which MCC you want to work, which account, which campaign, and also which feed you want to work on. So again, you can see that from three different angles, I would say, or three different parts of the software, you are capable of accessing your data and choosing on what you want to focus on. So that is very important for us. We just wanted to make sure that you don't have to spend 5 minutes basically to look, okay, I need to start working, but first I need to select my account. So give me 5 minutes so I can go into the client tab, etc., etc., etc. So everything becomes very easy. If we dive into your main work area, dashboard, this is your main dashboard. So that we would call that the focus tab. Basically, if I click on the plus button here, you see that you can choose up to 6 tabs, depending on what you want to focus on. Today, we're going to see mainly feeds, campaigns, ad group, ads, keywords, and search terms. This is why I selected those ones. If you want to talk about the shopping campaign and products, in this case, you can remove keywords, for example, and add shopping and products. Okay, and you can also decide what is the most important for you, so you can play around. It's very customizable. Okay, this is your time selector. Again, very, very similar to AdWords. We have the charts menu. I'm not going to go into details for this one because this is basically where you can access your reporting. And this is the view. So it's the first time actually here that you see views and you can relate on what we are calling it ADCORE View. Basically, what we wanted to have is to make sure that you can save your filter as a view. So every time that you go back to your campaign, to your keywords, to your optimization rules, you don't have to re-enter your filters. You don't have to. Sorry, somebody is just joining, so I'm not allowed it. Okay. So basically, yeah, you don't have to re-enter your filters. Everything is going to be automated. And also, if you want to go back to the previous view, it's going to be very easy because you have either access to all views in a list. And if you click on it, well, very simple, you go to the views that you want, you select, and then you will have the previous filter that you set. Okay, and in the publish button, basically this is where you're going to be able to do the synchronization between ADCORE and AdWords, Bing, and any other engine, basically engine marketing. So yes, so that will be also, if we want to go a little bit more into details, you can show and hide column, you can add as many columns as you want. that is very similar to what you have in AdWords right now. Okay, so that was basically a first view of ADCORE views. Now let's go a little bit more, let's go a little bit more into details and start with the first feature that we offer, which is the feed editing tool, Feeditor. So I'm going to go to my first feed. So how do I upload a feed? Very simple. In your media selector on the left, you just have to click on New Feed. And here you can type your feed URL and give it a name. So I already uploaded it, so we don't need to look at it right now. So now let's talk a little bit about why is it so important to have a feed editing tool. Basically, right now, if you need to make changes to your feed, the first thing that you need to have is a developer. Because not everybody is a tech person and not everybody is capable of going in the core of the feed and basically change the data and add some more coding and to make sure that you have the perfect feed. And having the perfect feed is very important for two reasons. It can be important for any shopping campaign that you want to create, but also if you want, in this case, to create dynamic campaigns. Because it's important to have a feed, excuse me, we have people that came from and joining, sorry. Because it's important to have a feed basically that will be clean. It's important to have a field where you're going to be able to use all the information from without to add more editing afterwards. So with Feeditor, we wanted you to avoid to have all the back and forth between the tech department and you to make sure that you have the perfect feed. With Feeditor, you have the possibility basically to edit your feed yourself in a very easy way and to publish it and to use that new URL that you created with Feeditor to build your shopping campaign as well as your dynamic campaign, your search campaign. So things to know about Feeditor is that we support all types of feeds, XML, JSON, tab delimited, and we also support all shopping channels. Okay, so I'm going to show you today two examples. First, we're going to start with what we can do with a shopping feed. So let's say that we want to push our feed to Merchant Center, to Google Merchant Center, sorry. For those of you to know, you know that we cannot have the currency in the price. If we have the currency in the price, Google Shopping will refuse the column, and then you will have to go back and edit your feed. So knowing those rules, I'm just going to go ahead and, I'm sorry. I'm just going to refresh my page. I'm sorry. I think it was open for a little bit too long. Okay, let me just go to my travel feed. Again, I apologize for this delay. Okay, we're back here. Perfect. Okay, so I click on the drop-down menu. First of all, you can see that for each column, we can do a few things. You can sort ascending or descending. You can add the column if it's not necessary to have it. You can filter it. So, for example, if you want to focus only on a special brand, then you can create a feed per brand. And you can add an action. So it means editing or rename a column of your feed. So right now we're going to add an action. And the action that we're going to do is to extract number. So I'm going to save it. And as you can see, the currency disappeared. And also you have a note here that, I mean, you have kind of a notification every time that you do an action to the feed that is telling you an action was done on this particular column, okay? So second thing to know about Google Shopping, sometimes the name of the column has to be formatted in a certain way for Google Shopping to approve it. And in this case, it's to have a G and a column before the name of a column. So as I said, we can rename our feed, rename our column, excuse me, and I'm going to just do G column price, and I'm going to save it, and you can see that the name of my column just changed. Okay, so knowing all the rules of the Merchant Center, you will be able basically to prepare a feed that will be accepted 100% for 100%. It's like you won't have to go back and forth and see that there is mistake, what type of mistakes, I need to talk to my developer. No, here you know the rules and you can just make the edit that you want. Okay, so now let's talk about e-commerce feed. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna refresh my page just to make sure that we don't have, we're not blocked like we were for the shopping feed. By the way, if any of you has a question, please don't hesitate to interrupt me. You can write again in the chat box. Okay. Okay, so this is our e-commerce feed. So we want to build a search campaign. And we want to build a search campaign based on one brand. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to filter on that one brand that I want, which is in this case, sorry, let me just expand the column so you can see better. In this case, it's BBK Performance. So I'm going to go ahead in my drop-down menu. I'm going to select filter. Okay, and I want it to contain BBK. Oh, sorry, we had a question. Just 1 second. No, the refreshing is absolutely not necessary all the time, and it won't be. Just for you to know, and I'm sorry if I haven't mentioned it before, we are still in beta version. So right now we are still under construction, if I can say, and of course not. It will be automatic. It's just like right now. I know that the developers are working. Yeah, they are working on it right now. While we're talking, they're still working on the version. That's why. So, and if you see some little bugs, don't worry. It will all be fixed before we go live. Okay. So going back to my feed, as you can see, I filter it to be all into the brand BBK Performance. Now, I want to work, I want to create, so I said I wanted to create a dynamic search campaign. I know that I have a limited amount of character in my dynamic search campaign. We know that headlines 1 and 2 are limited to 30 characters, and description is limited to 80 characters. Okay, so right now I know that I want to use my again, this is just examples that I'm giving you. So I want to use my Google product category in my headline. So I know that I cannot go over 30 characters. However, I can see that it might be over 30 characters. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select in the feed an action that will make sure that all my Google product category doesn't go over 30 characters. So I'm using still the drop-down menu, action. In this case, the action, it would be select substring. Up, I go up to 30. I don't cut words midstream, and I save it. So here, of course, this is not what you would use in reality because it wouldn't make sense, but it's mostly to show you that actually it cut the string up to 30 characters, and most importantly also, it didn't cut a word in the middle, so your ad will always look clean. Also, something that I can show you, and as another example, if I go to the product type, let's say that I want still in my keywords, just in my keywords to use product type, but obviously I'm never going to use fuel and intake, mass air meters, and sensors. The only thing that I need is fuel and intake. So I'm going to extract everything that is after the sign greater than. So I'm going to go to my actions, extract. My delimiter is the sign greater than, and it started from the first one. And when I save it, you can see that only fuel and intake were left. Okay? So those are a few examples of things that you can do with the feed editing tool. There's many, many more actions that you can do, but I don't want to spare all the secrets right now of feed editor. You can also add columns, you can remove columns. Basically, you can really do a lot of alterations to make sure that at the end of the day, you have the perfect feed for you. Once you made all the editing that you want, the next step will be to actually save your feed as a view. So I'm just going to save it. I can give it a name. I give it a description. And somebody is joining. And when I save it, basically this is, I give it a new name, and when I save it, it is added to the list of views that I have. And also, because I save it as a view, now when I'm going to my campaigns I group as of keywords, I know that I'm working automatically on this feed. So the good thing is I don't have to take the URL, go back to my campaign, push the URL. Everything is done automatically. Okay, and so let's talk about publishing now. If you want to publish your feed to shopping campaign, for example, you would just go to schedule task. You say how many times you want it to be pushed, so daily, weekly, etc. You choose your time zone, and you select on which shopping engine you want to push it. So that will be basically an overview of the feed editing tool. Do you have any question regarding feed editor? I don't see everyone writing, so I guess I can move on to the dynamic campaign creation. Okay. So, so basically, we managed to create our perfect feed to launch our first dynamic campaign. So the first thing that I want to create in my dynamic campaign is to create the keywords. Just a few more seconds. Okay, perfect. Well, good. So also very easy, and again, it's very, very similar to AdWords, as you can see. So I'm just going to click on plus keywords. I have two ways to add keywords, my bad. Either I'm going to add it in the static manner or dynamic. So I'm just going to show you how to do it statically. So I'm going to select the campaign. Okay, let's use this one. And I'm just going to use I chose an ad group, okay. And I want to enter my first keyword. I want to enter my first keyword in exact, so I will write it like that. If it is in broad modified, I would write it like that, etc., etc. So statically, when it's static text, sorry, you can enter manually the list of keywords that you want. Okay, you can. Something that is really cool is like, and it goes also, it's the same for dynamic keywords, by the way, is you can either create a brand new campaign and enter those keywords into the new campaign, but you can also add keywords to an existing campaign. And so, and it goes, the same goes, sorry, for ad groups. So you can create new ad group and attach it to a campaign with that has already some content. Okay, so now let's talk about really the dynamic way, because we all know how to manually add keywords. So if I go to my dynamic keywords, the first thing that I want to do is to select a feed. So in this case, we were talking about e-commerce feed. First thing first, I'm going to create an ad group. Again, either you use an existing ad group or you're going to create a new one. Right now, I want to create a new one because I want it to be dynamic. And I want my ad group, for example, to be by product type. So the first thing I'm going to do, very easy, I'm just going to open a bracket. And here I'm going to choose my product type. So what is cool about that is we used to, for those who know ADCORE, we used to use a mapping system. You had to go back to your feed. Right now, again, in the sense that we are in a single page application, basically you just have the possibility to choose the column in the drop-down menu. So it's very, very easy. And now I'm going to add my first keyword. So I want my first keyword, for example, to be brand. Okay, so open bracket, brand. I'm giving it a match type, and I'm giving it a beat. And what is my destination URL? Okay, I want to add another keyword. I want to do exactly brand again, but this time I wanted it phrase. And because it is phrase, I want to give it a different beat, etc., etc. And you can add as many combinations as you want. Brand and product type. Here we can do it in exact, and this should be €1, etc., etc. I guess you get the principle. Okay. And so basically, I just want to show you when I was saying that everything, I was saying in the introduction that basically everything is being done instantly. Sorry, for the English. So if I click on brand and I save it, you can see that all the keywords were added here automatically. Sorry, one second. We have a question in French. As you can might heard, I'm French. So, est-on obligé de mettre les URL au mot-clé? No. So the question was, do we have to put a destination URL on the keyword level? So no, you are not. It's not mandatory. If you don't put any URL, then in this case, the URL will be on the ad level. Et je vais répondre en français, donc non, c'est pas nécessaire. Vous pouvez mettre les URL de destination au niveau de l'annonce. Okay, so going back to our results, so you can see that was all the brand. I didn't save my my feed. This is why you see more than BBK performance, by the way. Okay, so this is how you create keywords. Okay, now let's go to my ads. Now that I create all the keywords that I wanted, and let's do the same and let's create dynamic ads. So I showed you earlier how to create static ads, so we don't need to do it right now, but let's create dynamic ads. So I'm going to choose a campaign. I'm going to select a feed. Same, I'm going to create my ad group. Okay, and I'm creating my ad. Right now, I'm going to create an ETA ad because this is what you you need to do right now with AdWords. So that will be the most relevant. So my final URL would be product URL, my headline. So you remember earlier I told you that I selected substring to make sure that it doesn't go over 30 characters. So I can use it right now. I think it was a Google product category to make sure that basically my headline, because it goes up to 30 URLs, I am sure that it will be approved with AdWords and that won't be any mistakes because the product is too long. My headline too can be brand on sale, so you can add static text and dynamic text. In the past, I want to use brand again, and in my description, I'm just going to use test, 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 product type. Okay, and when I save it, and I need to go to, sorry, my bad. Well, I apologize for that. It seems that 5 minutes ago it was working. Here, you should, let me check 1 second something. If okay. Oh, yes, it's here. My bad. It was just because, It was just because my screen was a little bit too big, so sorry. You can see that because we have different type of ads right now, we had basically to have ad one, so the old ads with AdWords were here and the new ads are here. So if I go to my right, sorry, it was, oh, this is annoying. I'm so sorry. It's just a problem with the computer. Yes. So this is great. Okay, so you can see basically here in the ad type that I basically added everything, the headline, this is what we wanted, here is run on sale, etc., etc. Do you have any question basically on the dynamic campaign creation? Okay, and as I said, always basically when you save it as a view and you publish it, okay, so if I schedule a task, again, I make sure that it runs daily and I can choose at what time and a specific time and you can start on a specific day. Okay, so okay, so we saw how to create, oh sorry, we have okay, so we have another question in French, basically saying, can you show us how to add rules in ads? For example, if the text is too long. So right now, again, I just want you to remember that this is a beta version. That means that not all the features that you have in the old ADCORE are implemented yet in the new ADCORE. So that's why I was showing you the affiliator. I think Caroline was referring to what we were using as a select substring, as a string fit, sorry, my bad, that we cut the word, for example, to make sure that you don't go over a certain amount of characters. So this is actually what I did through Feeditor. So right now we haven't implemented the dynamic function that we used to have, because the goal is actually for you to use more Feeditor and to be able to do the same with Feeditor. And what I did with Feeditor right now, using select substring to make sure that it doesn't go over 30 characters, it's exactly the same that as string fit that you would use in the text of the ad. Is that clear? Yes, I guess. Okay. Okay. So any other question regarding dynamic campaign? Okay. So now we created our campaign. We edited our feed. We're happy. Now we want to see after a few weeks how our performance is doing. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about reporting. What we wanted to have basically is it's for you to be able to measure your performance in real time, and also for you to be able to see it in a very easy and clear way. So as I said, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but it's important to understand that this is a single page application. So I can have access to my reporting right now, for example, on the ad level. So I just have to go to charts, and we just added not a lot of charts, because I don't think that you need a long list of charts basically and a long list of visual effects to show you data, but we put the most important one in the system. So the first one I'm going to show you is the line chart. So you're going to see that it's very similar again to AdWords, just it's a little bit more pretty. So here, for example, if I want to compare, I'm at 7 days and I want to compare my click versus my conversion. Okay, so you can see basically a comparative chart. I can add as many charts as I want. I can add the bar chart as well. Okay, here too I can do a comparison between two metrics. What is important about the chart, this is something that you can schedule to be sent directly to you or to your clients, and you can schedule to be sent automatically. So you can decide that every week you want a report to be sent to your client on a Monday morning, for example, to see what were the results of the week before. So the same way that you publish everything, here you would publish, you would schedule a task, you can also send one chart separate, so just by entering email and remarks. So it's very, very easy. If your client, for example, so here I have my data, and on top of that I have a visual representation of my data. If you think that it's more important for your clients to have just the visual representation, again, you can customize it completely, hide the work table, and you will have only the charts here. Now we have added three main charts that are very, very important, that will help you to see the health of your campaign right away. So I'm going to just close that, and I'm going to show you those three ones. We have the benchmark chart. So when I click on it, so right away you can see, compared to the previous period, so compared to the last 7 days, what was where you need to improve, basically, what was working and what has not improved compared to last week. So that, having the benchmark on terms of your performance, this is something important. We have as well the ads outline. Okay, so when we were having both Google Expanded Ads and text ads, that would allow you, in a sense, to kind of doing A/B testing between the two types of ads. So you can see that which one is working the best, why this one is working the best, which one is more performing in terms of CTR, in terms of conversion, in terms of ROI, whatever data and metrics are important for you, okay? So we can change it in, you can also do it, again, talking about, A/B testing. So you can select here for your ads, okay, this is the list of your ads, which one is working better? And you can, of course, optimize your reports just by using just by deciding which column you want to highlight. And the last one, that is a very, very cool one. This is what we used in the past, actually, to do our account reviews. It's the Ad Doctor. Okay, so you can see that right away you see what is good and what is wrong. So for this account, which is again a test account, I can see that I haven't created any ETA ads, only 1%. ETA to my existing campaign, and here my score will be based better. A/B testing, I can see that if I expand it, okay, I can see that I have actually only 50% of my account that is doing A/B testing, which is not good, because that takes me away from having better performance. So again, right away, I'm just clicking on plus add. I'm adding new ad to existing ad groups, and then I can check which one is working the best, the one with the keyword insertion or the one with the price in the title, etc., etc. Approval status, well, you're doing well because everything was approved by AdWords, and same goes for quality score. So again, having those metrics just on top of your work, work table is very important, because it allows you right away to do some optimization. Now, let's go to our keywords because we have also the same type of information. So if I add my keyword outline, okay, so here, for example, I can check what is working the best in terms of match type. So that can already influence me for my optimization. If my broad match type is working less than my exact, then I know that I can allow myself to be more on the exact because it's going to give me more conversion, it's going to be more performance, etc. You can also change it in the term of quality score, average position. And the same way that we have the ad doctor for the ads, we have the keyword doctor. Okay, so here I can see already that my match type is not really good because I need to go to another meeting. Oh, thank you very much, Ivan. And I can, if you need anything, please don't hesitate to contact me via Skype or email. Have a good day. Okay, so basically, so the match type, I can see that I build everything in broad and obviously, except if I have a lot of money to waste and I have a very generic campaign, that is not good. I need to have more long tail keywords. I need to have something a little bit more specific. I need to add some more exact and phrase and bone modifier keywords. Okay, quality score, I can see that I could do better. So how can I do better? It's basically all those keywords that have a poor quality score. Well, I can just decide to pause them because they have a poor quality score. So I know that I'm not going to use it. I know they're not going to bring me any performance. So again, I see the results and right away I can go to my optimization on the same page. And then we have the search terms that tells you that, well, you really didn't do a good job because you have a lot of search terms that probably have converted, but you didn't add them as keywords. So again, you're losing potential conversions. So basically, yeah, if I summarize a little bit the reporting, what we wanted to do is for you always being able to match what you see and your data. So that helps you, and that will lead actually to our fourth point, which is the optimization. How do you optimize after seeing actually the real performance of your account? Do you have any question about reporting? Okay, doesn't seem like it. Okay, perfect. So let's talk a little bit about optimization. So again, the optimization basically is the trickiest part of the life of a campaign. Basically, this is when you put all the effort to build the perfect feed, to build the perfect dynamic campaign, and you'll see all the results right now. Now, how do you optimize? Well, you create automatic rules that fit your needs, basically. I want to show you, I'm not going to show you too much today, I'm just going to show you how it works. For those of you who know ADCORE, you know that it was a little bit tricky, to be honest. It was advanced. It was okay because you had great support and great training, but still it was a little bit, it needed some training. Right now, we wanted to have something, again, in the state of mind that everything should be faster and easier. We wanted you to have access basically to the rules right on this work area. So we're going to talk about two rules, for example. Let's talk about pausing keywords, underperforming keywords, and the other one would be keyword bid management. So the first one is pausing keywords. I want to post keywords, for example, again, this is a test account, so please don't take what's the word? Don't take that for granted. Kind of not for granted, like
Take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, let's say that the data that I'm going to give you are not realistic at all. So right now, I want to post keyword that has less than 2 impressions, for example. So I'm just going to use my filter. I'm going to go to my impression. I'm going to filter it. So everything that is less than 2, actually, let's do an equal. Let's be crazy. Okay, I save it. So those are all my keywords that I have less than 2 impressions. Well, those ones, I just want to post them. Action. So save. Oh, everything is posted. I save it as a view, and I publish it. I schedule the task, and I make sure that every time that in the past 7 days you have less than 2 impressions, that my keywords are going to be posted. And it's as easy as that. Now let's talk about keyword batch management. Okay, I want, in this case, so I'm just going to remove all that. Oops, my bad. Okay. Just so you know, I need to refresh. So basically, the second thing that I want to show you is how to work with bid management, because this is usually the most common type of rules that you will have. Can you also combine 2 columns? Sorry. Oh, the question was like, absolutely, I can do that. So I'm just going to show you. So first, it was impression. So we said impression. Sorry, the question. Sorry, I didn't even see the question out loud. I'm so sorry. Can you also combine 2 columns? For instance, when impression are greater than 500 and CTR lower than 0.5 for posing keywords. So I don't have that type of data, so I cannot do that filter. But just to show you, so if I have less than or equal to 2, okay, so that's my first filter. And then my CTR is less than 100. Let's do that. So basically, well, we have nothing. Okay. So basically, yeah, but you understand the system is basically you apply 2 filters depending on which column depending on your requirements, basically. So this is how it works, and this is how you will be able to post the keywords. So going back to bid management, so I want my impression. Okay, I want to raise my bid by 20% for everything that I'm more than 2 impressions. So I'm going to go to my filter. My filter greater than 2. Okay, and save it. Okay. And in my max CPC, I'm going to add an action. I'm going to change the bid, increase it by 20, and I want it to be in percentage. You can always add an upper limit. And when I save it, yeah, it's changed. Again, very easy. In 2 clicks without having to learn any informating language. It's just working with filtering and action. So if you have any other type of rules that you want me to show you, basically it's just, again, those data are really not realistic. So I don't want to have to show you too many rules, but basically you can see, again, that whatever you want to do, you can do any type of rule optimization rules, you can do. And the way that it works is just it will work with filters. So the filters, you filter first your column, which are your requirements, and then you add an action. You add an action either on the bid management, you add an action either on the status of a keyword, you add an action if you want to add search terms, etc., etc., etc. Do you have any question about optimization? I don't see anyone typing. So basically, let's summarize. Basically, we did a big tour of ADCORE views. Let's summarize a little bit what we saw. So we saw that everything can be done on the same page with the single page application. we can see that what you see is what you get. So as you can see, every time that I made a change live, either it was a filter, either it was a creation of a keyword, of a new ad dynamically, well, instantly, sorry, you have the result showing. And we'll show also that it's very, very easy to use, and it looks really similar to AdWords, but better. So yeah, it goes back to the three things that I was telling you earlier. It's a new concept, a new technology, and a new design. So again, I want to emphasize the fact that this version is still a beta version. We have much more features to add. We have also features to improve, already existing features to improve. Also, if we talk a little bit more about the future, it's important to know that the first thing that we want to integrate that didn't exist with ADCORE is Facebook. We want, so the first thing was AdWords, but the next step is actually to integrate Facebook ads. Then we will do Bing ads and any type of ads that can exist on the market. The technology, the new technology that our developers are using right now is, I don't want to say easy because it's still very complicated. I don't want to offend them when I say easy, but it's just the way that they build the system is just going to be easier for them to be able to make changes. We won't have to change the core of the system. We won't have to change the database. They're using a new technology. I think it's Mongo. Okay, if I'm okay, Mongo. That anyway, it's going to make sure that any new features is going to be much more easier to add, basically. And we're really hoping that the beta version, the closed beta version, will be available at the end of November, basically. So this is the plan, and yes, and we're very excited because we know that we know that it's a great tool. We know that it's going to bring you more performance, and it's easy to use. And at the end of the journey, you won't even have to use AdWords, Bing, Facebook anymore because you would just have to use ADCORE. Do you have any question? No? I guess no one has question. Well, thank you very much for your time, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to write us at success@adcore.com or support@adcore.com. I'm just going to write it here. So for existing clients, it will be success@adcore.com. I'm writing it here, okay? Or support@adcore.com. And for non-existing clients that we really hope you're going to join us, you have to just tell that adcore.com. And we will be happy to answer any question. So I wish you an excellent day. Thank you again for listening to us during this hour. Have a good day.